evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Oh my God, we are so excited to be here tonight. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you for being on a Better Me podcast.
Yes. Whoop whoop.
Yes.
Tonight, we have amazing special guests with us tonight. We have Coach Sharice, and we also have my co-host Thurza, who is with us every week. I'm so excited about it. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and then we're gonna come back, and just get into it. But I want to talk to you about a Better Me's podcast. I want to say welcome to a Better Me's podcast, episode number 8. And not only that, I am your host, Apostle Dr. Chloe Natasha. A Better Me podcast is a place where we come together by the grace of God to discuss a variety of topics. And here are some of the topics that we talk about on the podcast. We talk about relationship. We talk about women in ministry. We talk about health, not only women's health, but also men's health. And we talk about many, many more. And I'm excited about our special guests that are here with us tonight. We're here every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And we're excited to have you. Go ahead and share. Go ahead and send the hearts, send the stars, and just participate. And go ahead and put your questions in the comment. And we're going to be so excited to answer. And go ahead and participate. We have a lot to share with you. And I just want to tell you, get ready. So I'm going to start off with my co-host Thurza, and she is going to introduce herself. And then we're going to go down to Coach Sharice. She's going to introduce herself as well. She's going to share with us some great information. And I'm excited because I'm going to be talking about my testimony. And my testimony is amazing for what God has done in my life. So, Thurza, the floor is yours.
Welcome to the hood. Silence in the background. It's okay.
Oh my God. I don't know
what everybody. Good evening. I'm happy to be back. So I am Apostle's assistant. I take care of some of the things in the background for the ministry, for the organizations. We also go out on mission trips together. So that's who I am. So I appreciate you all who are inquiring what happened to us last week. Well, last week we had a very, very busy week. We were supporting one of our sisters who had a grand opening, La Mode BK. We also participated in a revival on Times Square, which was like really, really awesome. So we were in, we were in overload. We were doing a lot of things. So, but we missed you. I know I missed you. And I appreciate all the inquiries about where we were. So we're back. And we're ready to talk about this very serious topic of mental illness. Have a candid conversation, provide you all with some information, and just be able to support one another, because at one point or another, I'm sure that we've had some kind of issue or know somebody with an issue, a friend, a family member, and we're going to work it out. We're going to work it out together. So Coach, I turn it over to you, our expert in the building. All right.
Hey,
Coach Sharice.
I am Coach Sharice Vanterpool. I am a life coach, an anger management specialist that's certified with the courts, and a KSAC. And so I'm going to be sharing the dual side of mental health. So I'm glad that everyone is here joining us. You're going to get some great information tonight.
Amen. Well, I'm excited because what I want to do is I want to let Coach talk a little bit about mental illness, and then I'll be able to give you guys my story. My father committed suicide. He hung himself on a tree, and I want to talk to you guys about what I struggled with, what I went through. And so before we actually do this, I want to just ask everybody to go ahead and send up the hearts and tag somebody. Tag somebody to come in and join us. Tag someone that you know may be struggling with something, with some form of depression, some form of anxiety, and allow them to come in and be able to come and join into this discussion. As everybody's coming in, everybody's scrolling in, I want you guys to go ahead and also put what state you're from. I see you. I want to shout out everybody that's here. I want to shout out Landy, Bernadette, Landy, Tanae, Ali Star, I see you. Evangelist Rose, I see you. I want everybody to do me a favor and tag somebody. Tag somebody to come in. Tag somebody that needs this information, because they might have children who are going through certain things. They might have a family member who are going through certain things pertaining to mental illness. And I'm just so excited about, this day, because it is just a great information for us to be able to. I see you, Gums. I'm not gonna try to say your name, but I see you.
It's luxurious.
My God, I want to say, listen, you are luxurious, and I want to tell everybody, go ahead and share. At some people, tag them to come on. Tag them to come on, because we want you to understand mental illness. We want you to really be that individual that may be going through that specific thing, because we're not going to put that label on you. We're not going to put that label on you. We're not going to put that label on your family member. Good evening, Denise. I see you all. Go ahead. I want to see some stars. Let's get some stars in the building. I need some stars in the building. I don't know, Thursday, I don't know where my bell is, but you're going to have to make some noise. I'm trying to see where my bell for the star senders. And I don't have my bell next to me. I may try to go get it, but if I try to go get it, I might. I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
I got a whistle. I don't know if we want.
You have a bell, Thursday. You got a little.
I have to find my. It's a little. It's like ding 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 ding. I don't know. It doesn't have the same effect. I'm gonna find it though.
So I want to just thank everybody. Tag some people before we get started. We want you to tag some people. Tag some people. Tag some people, because we want to take this to another level. We want to take this right here to a level where we're able to help people. Rachel, I see you, Rachel, from the Philippines. That's what I'm talking about. Ding, 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 ding. Woo! Philippines in the building. Come on, I see y'all. I see New Jersey. I saw Tulsa. Oh my God. We all over the world. New Jersey. Come on, where everybody else from? Y'all from the podcast? Where y'all from? Because I don't see y'all putting in the comment. I need to know where you're from. I need to be able to shout out. And listen, we are going to put the link for you to sign up for our mailing list, because we want to make sure. I see you, Wendy. We want to make sure that you're able to join every single thing that we're doing. I am also going to make some announcement. Mama Linda, I see you. I see you, Mama Linda. Come on, I need everybody to tag some people. Florida in the building. I see you. I see Florida. I see you got Oklahoma. Hey, Oklahoma in the building. I see y'all. Come on, welcome to A Better Me's podcast. And I just want to share with you all that you are loved. We love you. If somebody didn't tell you this today, we're telling you right now that we love you, and we want to encourage you. We are here every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and I want to just encourage you. Whatever it is you're going through, whatever it is, however you feel, I want you to believe that God can bless you, that you can be healed, you can be delivered, and whatever it is that comes to hinder you, that you will overcome it. You are an overcomer. Tanae, I see you, Tanae. Come on, I want you guys to go ahead and put, I am an overcomer. I am an overcomer. I'm going to pass the mic to Thursday right now. And I'm looking for my belt. I don't know who my niece moved my belt. All right, Thursday.
Okay, here we go. So on the topic of mental illness, we're going to just give a brief overview of what mental illness is, just by definition, and then I'm going to turn it over to Coach Charisse. So basically, mental illness, also called mental health disorders, refers to a wide range of mental health conditions, disorders that affect your mood, thinking, and behavior. Examples, things that we're familiar with of mental illness include depression, anxiety disorders, schizophrenia, eating disorders, and addictive behaviors. So these are just some examples of things that we might, have heard of or may have experienced. Many people have mental health conditions from time to time. So it's something that's fluid, right? But a mental health concern becomes mental illness when ongoing signs and symptoms cause frequent stress and affect your ability to function, right? So it gets in the way of your day-to-day activities and your relationships and so forth. A mental illness can make you miserable and can cause problems in your daily life, such as at school, work, relationships. In most cases, symptoms can be managed with a combination of medications and talk therapy, or you can go to your clergy, your spiritual advisor, and so forth. But sometimes these things are manageable on a low scale, and then other times we need more serious intervention. So Coach is going to go ahead and give us some examples, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to see when we need to get some more intervention, or how we can handle some of these situations ourselves, or with the help of those who are close to us. So Coach.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Coach Cherise. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about, we'll probably go more in depth a little later, but I wanted to talk to you about dual diagnosis. And so a dual diagnosis is a person who is diagnosed with a mental illness and a substance abuse problem. And so my years of being a substance abuse counselor in a MICA, that's what they call it, a MICA facility, we know that prolonged drug addiction may have some effects on your mental health. For example, if you have been addicted to drugs for a long time, you might experience anxiety, hallucination, depending on the drugs that you use. And more than half of a person who have a serious mental illness also has used or abused substance abuse. And a dual diagnosis is sometimes referred to as co-occurring disorders. And when I worked in treatment, I realized that too goes hand in hand, because when you are in treatment and you're not using substances, your body responds to it, especially if you have been addicted to drugs for decades. Your body is going to experience some form of withdrawal, and that withdrawal may be mental. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about it. This evening we're going to talk a little bit about it. Thursday's going to bring you some information. I'm going to bring you some information, but we want you to understand the seriousness of mental health, because mental health can cause you to have suicide thoughts and tendencies. It could disrupt families, but the one thing we want you to understand is that the individual that's in your family, a loved one, a friend, deserves help. And we want to be able to give you tips on giving that help in a compassionate way. So Thursday, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you can continue on, and we'll definitely talk more about the do's and the don'ts. That's from my standpoint of mental health and dual diagnosis, because there's certain steps that you need to take with a person who has a dual diagnosis. Always remember that a person who's been addicted to drugs, I don't care what substance it is always going to have some challenges mentally, because their mind, especially if they've been abusing drugs from teenagers, remember your mind develops fully at 25. So if you're addicted to drugs before 25, your brain is developing with drugs. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But Thursday, I turn it back over to you.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So we're just gonna go over some signs and symptoms of mental illness. So we have feeling sad or withdrawn or down, confused thinking or reduced ability to concentrate, excessive fears or worries, or extreme feelings of guilt, extreme mood changes, highs and lows, withdrawal from friends and activities, significant tiredness, low energy or problem sleeping, detachment from reality. Some people have delusions, paranoia, hallucinations, inability to cope with daily problems or stress, trouble understanding and relating situations and to people, problems with alcohol or drug use, what Coach was just referring to, major changes in the eating habits, sex drive changes, excessive anger, hostility or violence, and suicidal thinking. So just to kind of preface it again, if you're having a bad day, it doesn't mean that you have mental illness. But what we're talking about is when the sad day takes over and you can't get out of bed.
Yeah.
We're talking about when you're so angry that if someone steps on your foot in the street or on the bus or in the store, you're ready to fight. Like you have no kind of filter or boundary. You're just exploding, all the time. We're talking about feeling so sad that you're not bathing maybe, or you're not properly taking care of a child or a loved one, right? So we're talking about the extreme part of it where it really affects your day-to-day life. So I don't want people thinking that, I'm having a bad day, or I had a bad experience and I'm not in the mood to eat, that means that I have mental illness. No, what we're talking about is when it really inhibits your day-to-day activities and your relationships and your functioning. Okay, so Apostle?
Yes. So I want to talk about this because it's very important that we understand, as she mentioned, your mood, feeling a certain type of way, not feeling motivated, not feeling encouraged. And I know that very well. And the reason why I know that very well, because I struggled with that myself. And I remember my father when I was about 21. My father had called I remember when I was 10. When I was 10 years old, my father had called his friend and he was going to hang himself. And at that moment, my mom ran to meet him at the friend's house, and we were able to take him back home. But not realizing that many years later, that this situation will present itself again. And we thought that he was okay. My father was a great man. He was, and I remember as a child, when we used to go to his house, he was very quiet sometimes. And we didn't really learn to really have great conversations with my father until we were teenagers, right? And so when we were teenagers, we were able to have conversations where we could laugh and we could talk, and we can pretty much see who he was at the moment, right? Because the only time he would take us to the park, he would take us to the movies, he would take us so many places. He loved people, but we never knew deep down inside that he was struggling. He was struggling with something probably since a child, and we didn't know, right? So I want you guys to go ahead and put in the comment, pay attention. Put in the comments, pay attention to signs, okay? And I want you to send the hearts as well. Send the hearts. I want you to send the stars. Don't come in and be lazy. Don't come in and be idle. Come in and show your face. But I want to say to you all, he was unhappy, and we didn't know. We didn't know he was struggling with something. And And the thing about it is that throughout the years, we thought that he was just a strict parent, but we never really paid attention to the signs, right? Like I said, pay attention to the signs. And, you know, and Thursday, you knew my father. You see how he was, right? Nobody would ever think he was struggling with something, right? And so it was something that I believe he also saw that as a child. As a child, he saw that as a form of escape, a form of freedom in his mind, thinking that's gonna cause him to be free from whatever it is that he's going through. But if we commit suicide, I believe that you have given up. I've always said my father was a coward. The reason why I call him a coward is because he did not get help. He struggled with the pain on his own, and he found an easier way out. An easy way out that would not bring him to heaven. It would not bring him to heaven. And not only that, he wasn't strong enough, right? And a lot of us, we go through this. We're not strong enough when certain situations come, right? And my father had a situation with a woman. That was like the situation that really triggered him. It triggered him. Why? Because it had to do with rejection. And what happened with the rejection was he was married to my mom. It didn't work out. But we look at our parents and they break up and we think everything is okay. But when we take a look at what happened the second time, right? The second time that it happened to him, when he finally took a woman seriously, the woman was younger than him. She was messing around with his friend. One day he went to her house and the man was coming out. And that's what did it. He was going through financial issues at the moment, right? And as he was going through financial issues, it caused him to go into trauma, something that he might have experienced before in his life. And we all go through that. And so it's important because I was next, right? I was next. And because, can we put the love, let's put the hearts in the comment. Let's put the hearts in the comment. And I want you guys to also send the heart. Let's put the hearts in the comment. The reason why a lot of people go that route is because they feel rejected. And when we feel rejected, we get to the point of just not wanting to do anything else. We believe everybody don't like us. We believe everybody don't love us. And then we get to that point of depression. We get to that moment of, getting anxiety. And I was next, y'all. And I remember experiencing the moments of not being happy, the moments where I wasn't motivated, the moments where I felt depressed, the moments where I felt like, I don't know if any of you have ever experienced anxiety. Anxiety is you basically having your stomach, like it's like a sharp pain. And with that sharp pain, it causes you to go into weakness because you don't really understand what's going on. So sometimes you go into isolation. And a lot of people from 2020, I noticed so many people that struggled with anxiety, so many people that struggled with isolation. And it caused us to get to that moment because we didn't know what to do. We were afraid, right? We were afraid because we thought it was probably the end of the world, right? Some of us believe that. And we've heard that so long that when that took place, those of us that never experienced a pandemic, it really hit home, right? And so I remember the times where I struggled with depression. I didn't love myself. I didn't feel like I was pretty. I thought I was ugly. And I'm kind of cute, y'all, right? I'm kind of cute. Am I cute? Am I cute? Come on, everybody.
Yeah. No, you're beautiful. You're beautiful.
Oh, my God. Glory to God. So I did not have the ability to be strong. And I was moving like a coward, right? And it's not easy to be strong. Life is not easy.
No.
So we go through a lot of stuff. Thank you, y'all. Thank you, y'all. Thank you. I see y'all saying I'm cute. I see it. But as I was saying, is that thank you so much, Janelle. Thank you, Landy. Thank you, all of you. And go ahead and share and tag somebody to come into here. Tag somebody. This is important. And I think that we really need to talk about this more, right? And so I remember where, and I have to say this to you all. I want you all to know this, because the anxiety brings me back, and the shame and embarrassment. Those were the words that I lived with every day. I was embarrassed about maybe my poverty. I was embarrassed about not being able to get a certain job that I wanted. I was ashamed because something I've done in the past, right? And we take a look at a story of Adam and Eve, and what do we see? When we see shame, we see blame, right? And I was the one that my family blamed me for everything. Everything that went wrong, it was me. Everything that didn't go right, it was me. So at that moment, you start to feel like you're the problem, right? Come on and put in the chat, I'm not the problem. Come on and put in the chat, I'm not the problem. And I began to believe that I was the problem. And because I felt like, and I knew that I was the problem, right? I would go to work, I'll be discouraged. I would be thinking about the things that just didn't make sense. I was thinking about things that didn't make me happy. I was thinking about things that really had me lost. I was thinking about not being here anymore. And I remember the day clearly. I prayed to God. I said, God, take me out of here. I'm taking space. I'm taking up space. I'm not doing anything. I'm not prospering. I'm not able to be encouraged. I'm not able I can't get the job that I want. I can't get, I don't have money. I don't have enough money. And I started to cry out to God with things that he told us, he gave us the answer, how to get away from that stuff, right? And so depression, nobody knew. And I got to mention this. Nobody knew that I was struggling with depression. I was a party promoter for over 25 years. I was at the parties, hugging everybody, smiling, partying, having fun, right? But guess what? I was the most unhappiest person that you could ever see or ever know, right? But nobody knew. And because I'm someone that have a great heart. And what I do is I give my heart. And I was giving my heart so much. And the people that betrayed me, every time somebody betrayed me, every time a relationship didn't work, I just felt like I wanted to die. I wanted to get out of here. I thought it was the easiest way out. And not only that, I figured that they were calling me salt, right? But I am the salt of the earth. So are you, right? And they were calling me like I was the black sheep. And all these things and all these noise get into your mind. And as it gets into your mind, it causes depression. As it gets into your mind, it causes you to be anxious, like just to get out of here. I want to get out. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here no more. I just want to be somewhere and run away. And one day when I realized that I wouldn't kill myself, I realized that I wouldn't commit suicide. I made that decision. I said, I'm not going to go out like that. Right? So what ended up happening is that I came up with another silly plan. I said, all right, I could run away. I could cover my face. I could get some cardboard, sit on the corner, and nobody know where I was. And I figured if I disappeared, I would make their life better. I figured if I disappeared, that they can breathe better. But the whole thing is, like, I tell people all the time, I'm healed today. I'm healed today because I trust that God could heal me. I'm here today by God only. I did not go to a therapist. I didn't go to a therapist. And remember, I have to tell you all that it was a secret. It was a secret between me, myself, and I. And I felt comfortable when I laid on my stomach. I felt comfortable when I came home and I didn't have to see anybody and turn off the light and just lay on my stomach. And we have to take a look back at Adam and Eve. When God was punishing Adam and he was punishing Eve and the serpent, he told the serpent, on your belly you shall go, right? And guess where I was? On my belly. We have to be careful what we speak out of our mouth. We have to be careful of the people we surround ourselves with. We have to be careful of environments that don't uplift us. We have to be careful. And let me tell you, I didn't want to leave these people away. I didn't want to leave these people alone. I didn't want to leave my family alone. I didn't want to leave my siblings. I didn't want to leave anybody. But you know what? God stripped me of all the people that was causing my pain. And I want to tell everybody that you need the therapist. The therapist is going to help you, but your healing is in a spiritual aspect. It's not just the therapist is going to heal you. A narcissist. I was watching something today where the woman said, can a narcissist be a Christian? And she said, absolutely not. Their way of thinking, the way they act, the way they speak, right? And we have to really understand who we are and whose we are. We ought to be around a circle of people that love us. And I've learned that the hard way. And you know why I learned it the hard way? Because I thought the people around me loved me. The only person that truly loved me was my mom. My mom was my confidant, my best friend. She was that one who gave me all the support that I need. Even when people were mad at me, even when I was wrong, she would still love me. And not only that, she would check me, right? She would say, look, I love you, but you were wrong. I love you, but you got to do things better, right? And so that's what we need. Mental illness. Like we can talk about so many people nowadays. Mental illness is at a time high.
Yes.
And I was looking at research, and I want to just share this with you all real quick. It said, let me tell you real quick. Hold on. I wrote it down. It says 21% of adults are experiencing at least one mental illness. That's roughly 50 million people. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
55% of adults with a mental illness have not received any treatment. Now, that's a problem because we take a look at what's happening in the schools, what's happening at the workplace. People that are just coming up, they're just doing things and not realizing what they're doing. They're doing things and not realizing they're under that influence of the devil. And that's the issue that's going on right now. So as we saw, this is for 2023 statistics, 2023. It says 21, and another thing it says 5.44% of adults experience severe mental illness. That's big. Severe mental illness. I don't know, Coach, can you explain what would be considered as severe mental illness?
Severe mental illness is when you just don't want to live anymore. And, Apostle, you brought up a great point, how people are living in silence with depression and anxiety and not sharing these things, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia. Like, people are really living in silence with that. And you know, we have when we talk about biblical aspects, there was so many men and women of the Bible who suffered from depression. You know, so we know that depression and mental health has been around for centuries, right? Yeah. And back then they didn't have treatment, they didn't have medication. All they had was God at that time. And so when we look at how we handle mental health, we have to handle it from a biblical standpoint.
Yeah.
First, right? And sometimes, Apostle, people are ashamed to say, listen, I'm hearing voices, or listen, I just can't get out of bed, or I haven't ate in days, you know, and that's because they can't go to family and friends and have these candid conversations. Because even though we live in a world of technology, medications, therapy, and all these things, people still resort to the old-fashioned way of not wanting people to think that they're not well. And sometimes mental health is a mind thing. You know, it's in the mind. So people feel like, I know I heard this, but nobody else heard it. So I'm not going to share with anyone because they're not going to understand what I'm saying. And so we have to just really be mindful, especially with young people who can't really articulate, you know, what is happening with them. Remember, for young people, the brain develops at 25. And so if they're having these ideology thoughts, or they're having these depressive modes, even spouts of depression can be alarming. Right? Yeah. They don't know how to come to a parent who may be closed-minded and say, listen,
Caribbean parents,
thoughts
Caribbean parents.
I'm having these thoughts of, you know, hurting myself. And even in the case of your dad, right? Yeah. We want to give him a little bit of empathy, because in those days there wasn't help. Yeah. And so as a man, a Caribbean man from the islands, they don't really talk about these things. They don't really share them, because in certain cultures, a man is a man, right? He's not supposed to share his trials and tribulations. He's not supposed to share his heartaches. He's not supposed to share his doubts, his suspicion, his failures, right? And so in some cultures, mental health is considered a failure, you know, for the Caribbean culture. And so when we think of your father, we think of the forgotten, you know, we think of those who couldn't turn to family because they had their dignity and they had their pride, right? They want people, and Apostle, and the most celebrated people with all of these accolades are the ones who fall into depression. Because it's one thing for us to celebrate him, like you said about your father, how your father was well loved, and everybody just couldn't believe that he was suffering from that. And so that's what makes it even more difficult to come forward, because the first thing somebody is going to say is, well, you got all of this. What do you got to be depressed for? It doesn't have anything to do with items. It has to do with that you cannot celebrate you. Right? Our biggest cheerleader is us, right?
Right.
Me, you, Thurza, and you know, the world, right? We are our biggest cheerleader. But when we can't celebrate us and we are not actually excited about the accolades, we're saddened. We can't go to people and say, you know, I feel like I'm having thoughts of suicide. Oh, girl, get over it. Oh, get over it. Right? I'm saying, what makes you feel sad? Why do you feel this way?
Absolutely.
What are you hearing? Can I help you? Why don't you and I go?
And I want to say this.
Unfortunately, Apostle, your dad lived in a time where we didn't have all of that. But now we do.
Yeah.
You know, and so we have to be kind and identify the signs of it.
We have to pay attention. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what, Coach? With me, it wasn't that I wasn't listening to certain things. It was
you were young,
my mind.
So
it was my mind. No, but this is very important that you said people may hear stuff, but my issue was it was in my mind.
Right.
And I did not believe that I was beautiful. I didn't believe that I was capable. I didn't believe, even though I was achieving, I still mentally, the enemy put in my mind that I'm just totally not who I was created to be. And I believe that a lot of people struggle with this, because I remember the day when my father called, and he called and I answered the phone. And I remember that time he said to me, tell your mother all the papers are on the table. And I'm getting on the plane, and he says, I'm going to Haiti. And I immediately try to get my mom to come on the phone, and he hung up. And once he hung up, my mother said, that's a suicide call. And the reason why she knew was because it happened before, right? It happened when I was about 10. And we looked for him. We looked for him for 3 days. And let me tell you, he had this well planned. So it wasn't that he was under the influence, but he also knew that he was going to celebrate, right? So something happens when people get to that state of mind. He got to Haiti. He got to the part where his mom, where he grew up, right? And he knew already that if he did this, that we wouldn't be able to get his body. He knew that the law was, if I do it over here, the prime minister will not let my family take the body. He also said he doesn't want us to spend money. He didn't want us to spend money. So what he did is he went to the tree where he grew up, because his mom have a farm and his brother still runs it right now. And he left, like, let's say right now it gets dark at maybe like 7:30. It gets dark right now. So someone drove him, but the night before he committed the suicide, he had a big celebration. He had a big bottle of rum, and they said that he drank the entire bottle. He didn't have a luggage. He said his luggage were lost, but he never traveled with luggage because he already knew what was going to happen, right? So he started to party, and as he started to party with the family, they had a big celebration. And then the next day, he had someone to take him to his mom's property. And at his mom's property, what he did was, let me tell you this, my father is so much a giver. Before he committed suicide, he gave to all the kids that were, in impoverished children. Along the way, he went into impoverished areas and less fortunate children, less fortunate adults, and gave them money. He gave all of them money. And then when he got to the area where he was going to do this, he told the driver to drop him off, and he will walk the rest of the way. It was almost like someone that dropped him off in an area, like, let's say if you're on the highway going to Manhattan, from Brooklyn to, let's say, New Jersey, and he says, drop me off along the way. And they dropped him off. The person let him go. And as they let him go, when they woke up in the morning, they found him on the tree. And they didn't recognize him at first. The reason why they didn't recognize him was because he he was a light red man. My father was really red. He was dark, like the color black. Right? And the only reason why they knew who he was because they found his wallet. As he hung himself, the wallet fell on the floor, and they saw our pictures. That was the only reason that they knew that was him. And we saw, like, if I really look back, we saw certain, behaviors. I think our Facebook went off.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. There's some kind of problem with the stream.
Hold on, let's see. Hold on.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I don't know. Oh, hold on a second. Let me see if I can fix this.
It's like,
hold on. I think I gotta sign in back to my account. Oh, Jesus. This is so annoying. Get code. Hold on, y'all. Okay, I gotta sign back in. See if I could start it over.
We got kicked all the way out?
Yeah, because Facebook, they do some crazy stuff these days.
Yeah, they do.
I was trying to share it to my group, and it locked me out. That's what it did. Let me see if it sends me another code. I don't know, this thing is ridiculous.
They don't want us to help people.
Oops, no. Wait. Oh. All right, let's see if I could get us back on. I don't know what the heck it's doing. Let me check and see what it's doing. It's making me go through like a whole bunch of stuff. I was trying to share it to my group, and then it locked me out. Ridiculous. Hold on 1 second. I gotta log back in. It logged me out. Are we back? Are we back? Can you check and see if we're back?
That's what I'm checking.
Yeah, I think we're back. I think we're back. Are we back?
Hold on.
I think we're back live. I think we are. It said, wait. Hold on. Are we back? I thought we were back. Hold on.
I thought we were back too. I don't see.
It says we're having trouble.
It's going in and out.
You see it?
No, it's going in and out. Like it's just turning.
On Facebook?
Yeah.
Is it back? I think it's back now, right?
Oh, it's back. Are we back? Can you hear us?
Woo! We're back.
Are we
back? Are we back, y'all?
Put some hearts if you could hear us.
Yeah, we back. We back.
Put some hearts.
I don't see the comments. We're back, y'all. We're back.
Hey, here we go.
But it's a no. It's a no.
All right. Are we back? Comment. Somebody comment.
All right.
Comment.
No, they're commenting. We're getting some
commenting.
Hearts. Oh. Thank you guys. Thank you.
I don't know. I'm not seeing it on here. So let me restart it. Oh, okay. I see. All right.
We got you're on. We're on.
We're on.
We're on. Yes. All right.
The devil is a liar. We're not playing with you today.
Yes, he is.
Right.
He don't want us to help people. He wants us to not help at all.
My God. So I want to just thank everybody for waiting. And go ahead and
you.
send the hearts. Come on, send the hearts, send the hearts, send the stars, send the hearts, send the stars. Send them, send them, send them. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. We got about 30. We got about, woo! Come on, send the hearts, send the stars, send the stars. I want to see the stars. Let's send the stars, send the stars. Send a star. He a liar. He won't win. But what I was saying before we left was that my father, he was a red guy, and I actually, when they opened the morgue for me to see his body, and remember, we were looking for him for 3 days. So by the time they came to tell us that he was gone, thank you, Evangelist Rose. Thank you. Come on, congratulate her. Congratulate her. Congratulate her. Woo! Congratulate her. Come on, come on, come on. Congratulate her. Let's get some love in the building. Some love in the building. Let's get about 5 more of you to send those hearts, send those stars. 5 more. And I want to say this to you all. Listen, the stars, I'm extending it so that I'm trying to get there was a couple of people that were like about the same. And so I want to say, as much as you send today will determine the winner, because we almost had a tie in the stars. Yeah, we almost had a tie, like 4 people, y'all. And so I want you guys to do the best you can today with the stars. Don't be lazy with the stars. Send those stars, send the hearts. Tag some people to come in. I see you, Landy. Thank you, Landy. Thank you for the 200 stars. Thank you, Monica. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, guys. Send those hearts, send those stars. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. We need 3 more people to send the star. 3 more people. Bernicia. Thank you, Bernicia. Woo! Come on, come on, come on. And if you're not a subscriber, make sure you click in that green badge. Subscribe. Come on, come on, come on. I see Candice is not a subscriber. Candice, you're not a subscriber. I'm going to tell you, if you're not a subscriber, I'm going to tell y'all. Come on, come on, come on. And turn it up. I need you guys to go ahead and send those stars. We need 2 more people to send the stars. And send the hearts. Send some love over here. Coach Sharice, thank you, thank you, thank you. We got the link. So I want to make sure that we get back to conversation, and then we're going to share with you some announcements as well. And so I'm going to go to Thursday. Maybe Thursday you may want to give us some more information. Thank you, Len.
Well, I'm just going to go over some causes of mental illness, you know, what could trigger it, what some people, you know, what happens. So we have a history of mental illness in the blood relatives, such as a parent or a sibling, stressful life situations, such as financial problems, a loved one's death, or even a divorce, an ongoing chronic medical condition, sometimes that can, you know, make someone depressed or extremely depressed, brain damage as a result of a serious injury or traumatic event, such as a violent blow to a head or some kind of accident, traumatic experiences such as abuse, you know, domestic violence, sexual abuse. We have people with PSD, you know, who were in the service, in the Army, Vietnam, you know, that kind of, well, Vietnam, I'm not as old as Apostle, so, I mean, Apostle's not as old as me, so reverse. You know, when I was growing up, I did hear a lot about, you know, soldiers who came back from Vietnam, and, you know, they had this. Now we're having people coming back from somebody say it for me, Afghanistan.
Afghanistan?
Thank you. Yes. Right. So, you know, that war, just people coming out of war, that could cause that. Use of alcohol and recreational drugs, as Coach was saying, childhood history of abuse, neglect, and previous mental illness, right? So, you know, there's a variety of things that can cause it. We have some genetic issues, like they say, like the neurotransmitters. These are the things in the brain that kind of help us think, processing. Some people, they don't have, their brain isn't making a connection, right? For whatever reason, and they can't think things through, right? So for me, if I could share, to share my experience, there's two incidences in my life where I felt that I was really going through a mental health crisis, right? So one of those times is I was going through a traumatic situation in terms of a divorce, right? A breakup in the relationship. And it was traumatic for me because my mind just could not wrap around the fact that this was not working out, and there was a lot of conflict in the relationship, and that contributed to it. And I found myself to be very sad to a point where, I really did not want to do anything. And I really had to fight to get up and do the basic things, so it was affecting me in ways that, now that I look back, it was like, wow, I let this situation take over.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I remember, having to make a decision, like, and I have to do something about it. So I did seek therapy. I did go to a counselor, and this person she was able to give me some strategies in terms of, how I could overcome the extreme sadness that I was feeling, because it took over physiologically. Like I felt sick. You feel sick when we talk about depression, right?
Yeah.
You feel sick, and the not wanting to get out of bed, the poor performance at work. When you work in the area of social services, people count on you.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep it real. It's
Right.
hard.
That's
And you
right.
have to be able to serve other people. But when you are just not mentally there, unfortunately, it causes problems. It could cause problems in your workplace. So, it was something that I really struggled with. I did have to take some, I made the decision to take some medication, and it was just a low dose antidepressant to basically take the edge off. And that's what I needed. Because it helped me with the physical symptoms that I was experiencing.
Yes.
In terms of, the listlessness, this feeling, this heavy weight. It alleviated me of that weight so that I can think clearly, so I could make a decision, so I could get out of bed. And the other thing that helped me is I thought about my son. I'm in a situation where I don't have a huge family. My parent, my mother, she's older, so I don't have anyone to really take. I'm like,
right.
if I don't have nobody to help me, I gotta help myself so I can raise this kid. I say this all the time. My son saved my life because I thought about him often, and I was like, you know what? If I go out like this, or if I don't get myself together, he's going to suffer, and I didn't want him to suffer.
Yeah.
So, fortunately for me, I had those thoughts in the back of my head to kind of usurp the negative thoughts, because unfortunately some people don't have those thoughts. We see how, we had this incident with the DJ Twitch, right? This is a public figure. He seems to have a good job. He has a loving family. He has children, and that's something that I never understood. How can somebody leave this earth
and
leaving your children?
These are not
so this shows you the magnitude.
Yes.
Like we cannot take this lightly, because it shows you that this feeling that we have is so deep that you don't even care, for lack of a better statement, about the children that you're leaving behind, because you as an adult, you have to be responsible for your child. So it shows you how deep it is and how serious it is. But I did what was recommended in terms of the antidepressant, and it helped me. It helped me. I did my counseling, and eventually I started to continue to build to work on my spiritual life, and turn to God and read scripture and seek encouragement. Do those things to build myself up. It wasn't easy. I'm going to tell you, it wasn't easy, but I had to do it. But I say it all the time. My son saved my life. Because I'm like, I ain't out like that.
And you know what? And you know what?
I relied on him in that sense because I knew that I wanted a child for so long, and that now that he was finally here, I'm not gonna be here for him.
Yeah.
So that was something that I had to do for myself.
Well, there's a question for you. It says, how long before you felt secure and happy again?
You know what? To be honest with you, it's fleeting because you have these moments when times that things are going good, and then something will happen, and it's when something happens that you realize how you're progressing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I mean by that is, if I had a challenge, maybe before then I would just ignore something or just pretend like it didn't happen. But now I face it, right? And I say, okay, this is how I'm going to deal with it. But in the broad scheme of things, to answer the question, it took some time. It really took some time. And I would say it took me about 4 or 5 years to get myself back together.
Yes.
As a result of, this breakup. It wasn't just what was going on in the relationship, but there was a part in my head, like I really didn't understand. Like, how did this happen? Why is this happening? And unfortunately, you kind of get stuck, So I really had to talk myself off the ledge. I really, really did. And I can't say that I've had suicidal thoughts, but I just had thoughts of, I wanted to stop. I want this feeling to stop. It was just a feeling in my belly, an aching feeling in my belly that I just could not get rid of, and I made a decision. I'm like, well, I got to find a way to deal with it. So like I said, I sought some, I went out and got a therapist. I had some antidepressant, low dose antidepressants, kind of sometimes the same that they would give to a person who's postpartum depression. Just something to get the edge off so that you could function. And then I was able to wean myself. So I don't think the medication, maybe I was on it for like 3-4 months, but just enough to get some clarity. But I had put in my mind that I didn't want to be dependent on that. So there was some kind of resolve within me. And that's another thing too. A person has to have a desire to
want to do something about it.
I don't think I really shared this with anyone, to be honest with you.
I didn't even know that. I was about to say that. I was about to say, like, I didn't even know. And Coach could be going through something and I don't know, right? Or I could be going through something and neither one of them would know. And that's why it's so important for us to really pay attention. Sometimes we can't tell, right? But sometimes the words that the person speak, or their mood, or if they're not willing to go somewhere and have a good time, and they like to go and have a good time, right? Those
changes in behavior.
And
I want to talk about the changes in behavior. And so my first day as a counselor, after I came out the training, and they was telling us about looking for certain behaviors, but you know how sometimes when you're not exposed to something right away, you don't know what to look for. And I remember it was my first day on the job. We had just graduated, and we went to the main building, and I saw this gentleman like giving things away. And that's the first sign of a suicide attempt. When people start to give things away, and not just anything, things that have sentimental value. And he was giving things away. And I'm like, he just gave away some stuff. And nobody really focused on him giving away the items. Do you know, next thing you know, we heard a cold blue. And we were locked in. And I was like, what happened? And they said he went to the roof and jumped off.
Whoa.
And that was my first day, my very first day as a counselor. And I did not know how to process that.
Oh my God.
And I was like, he what? And they had the sheet, the whole nine. And I couldn't understand where we went wrong, right? but we didn't pay attention to him giving away items.
Mm.
That's where we went wrong. We didn't look for the signs. And then another time, as I started to get familiar with the signs, a client had came in and the social worker talked to him.
Mhm.
And he was somebody who was always happy. And
Wow.
his presence was always shining. He walked out and the social worker said, I'm worried about him. I
Mm.
think I might send him back to the hospital. I was in my office. She was in her office. Next thing you know, we heard a doom
Oh my God. Oh
right
my-
outside the window. Right outside the window.
That
There he was.
is really, really hard.
And
And that's when the person get to
I
the
took-
weakest, right?
the one thing about men in suicide
Yeah.
is always detrimental.
Oof.
It's not like women who take pills and go to bed.
Mm.
Men is violent. It's gunshot wound. It's
Oh my
hanging.
God.
It's
Oh my
it's
God.
a very vicious self-hatred type of suicide. And
Wow.
when they covered the sheet, we had to move all of the people out
Jesus.
of the facility and take them to another facility.
Mm.
And I think because I had a relationship, the first suicide, I didn't have a relationship because it was my first day. But the second suicide at the facility, because we knew him and we knew
Yeah.
his personality,
Yeah.
it really hurt me because I was still learning about the fact that it's not even, what's going on. It's a mental imbalance for some people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you're not getting if you're not taking your medication, or if
Yeah.
you are not serious, as Thursday said, in wanting to be helped,
Yeah.
the first line of defense is yourself,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so when he committed suicide, I went home and I was just so distraught. Like, I wasn't distraught at
It really,
the facility,
yeah, it bothers you. Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
was just so torn apart over it that I think I really cried.
Mm.
And what I realize is that when people are struggling mentally, they don't know how to say, I feel like they may say I'm having suicide tensions jokingly, but they don't know how to come out and say, I need to go back to the hospital for a fair number of reasons.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
Because
that's
they're
why
not
we
aware.
have to be mindful of
Yeah.
signs.
Yeah.
We have to know those signs, because the first suicide, I didn't know the signs. I didn't know that giving away items was a sign. But
Mm.
I watched him do it, and I'm like, why is he giving people his most valuable possessions?
Right.
Because he feels like he's leaving, he doesn't need these things. At the
Yeah.
time, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But when the other client had committed suicide, I felt like we didn't do enough. But I
Mm.
don't think it has anything to do with what we can do. It's like Thursday said, you have to be a participant in your care.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of times when people commit suicide, people always don't think, like, what could we have done? Nothing. Because if
Yeah,
the person
yeah.
is determined
Yeah.
to do it, they're
Yeah,
going to do it.
Yeah. For
So
example. Yeah.
what we have to do is learn how to really
Yeah.
be supportive, but
Yeah.
not personalize the
Yeah.
suicide,
Yeah.
because that's something that they want to do. And let me tell you something else, Apostle and Thursday.
Mhm.
Even if you can do everything, follow every channel, help
Yeah.
them. If
Yeah.
they want to commit suicide, it's
They're gonna
going
do
to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's something about them that they
Yeah.
don't love about them, and they
Yeah.
don't respect about them, because it's a mind thing, and this is why a lot of times when people have children that commit suicide, or a loved one that commits suicide, they become very severely depressed about what could they have done. Well,
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you, you couldn't have done anything.
Mhm. I
Because
want to say this to what you're saying about you couldn't do anything, and then we're gonna come. If you guys have any questions, please put in the chat.
Yes, put your questions.
Yeah, put your questions.
Yes, put your
Thursday will
question.
read your question. I want to say two things because we're getting close to our end. I want to say one point from what Thursday said. It was her son that caused her not to.
Yes, that's powerful.
Right. And that was the thing that made me not be that individual that becomes so weak, right?
Right.
Where and I thought about my kids, and I think at that moment it was God saying, what about your kids? What you gonna do if you run away, right? And that was one of the main things that kept me. And because if I was alone by myself, I would have left. I thought about my mom, how much I would hurt her. I watched her struggle for years after my father committed suicide. She never got over it.
Yeah.
And it was something that paralyzed us, mentally, because we didn't expect it. We didn't want to be in that. We didn't expect it, put it that way, right? And so I believe that when my father tried it when I was 10, he didn't really make that decision, because if he made that decision, he would have never called his friend. Let's take a look at how he did it when he really said, I'm going to do it. Nobody's going to catch me. I'm going to make a call. I'm going to tell him where the paper is. He told us where the papers were. And then he got on the plane. He left, right? And he went back to Haiti. And when he went back to his country, he already knew where he was going.
It was
and he
planned.
haven't been there.
He planned it.
He haven't been there for over 35 years. So how did he remember the exact location, the exact place, right? And the law. And the only reason we were able to get his body was because my aunt and uncle, they were like directors at a school, and they were very connected to the prime minister. And because they were very connected to him, we were able to get the body. But as Catholic faith, you cannot take a suicidal victim body.
Yes, you
the
can.
church. But it's interesting because in the Christian faith, you can. So there's a difference, right? And so we want to take some questions because we're running out of time. We want to take some questions. We want to make sure we provide you with the announcements for everything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over the announcements real quick, and then I am going to go I'm going to go to the questions with Thursday. So Thursday is going to monitor your questions. And as I go over the announcement, I want you guys to go ahead and send some stars, send some hearts. Let us continue to be encouraged. Let us continue to be supportive, and send those hearts. Send them. And so I'm going to go through the announcements real quick. Thursday, if you could put the Linktree link, that they'll be able to have all the information that they need. This is coaching and mentorship that I provide, one-on-one coaching and mentorship that I provide for individuals. I have a few slots open. If you want to be you want to be register for it, let me know. Get in touch with me. Thursday's gonna put the Linktree link. You'll be able to have all the links for you to schedule time. The second thing is we are getting ready to celebrate our 8th year anniversary, and it is ANS Association, Nicole Rowland Youth Foundation, and Chloe International Ministry. It is on July 22nd at 11:30 to 4 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to be at J Loft, 1055 East 45th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 11203. We have vendor opportunity. We have sponsorship opportunities. And we still have the nomination list open. If you'd like to nominate someone, you can. I want you guys you'll be able to find it in the link. Did you get the link, Thursday? You got it? You got it? You got it? I can't hear you. No?
It's up. I put it up.
Thank you.
It's up.
I'm going to pin it. I want to pin it so that way you guys are able to get everything you need. I don't know why I was able to pin it, but let's see if I could pin it. I want to pin it because I want you guys to be able to get that information. And if not, I'll pin. If it's not letting me pin Thursdays, I'll pin it myself. But let me just check and see. I want to go over this real quickly. Okay, let's see if I can fit it. All right, here we go. I can. All right, so I pinned the link. Everything that I'm posting here, you'll be able to receive and to get the links to go and apply for anything you want to apply for, right? And yes, and Thursday's monitoring your comments. So go ahead and comment, send the hearts, send the stars. So tomorrow is the Reset Group Mentorship. If you have not registered, this is the time to do it. We had I had added 3 seats earlier. They were all gone. I'm adding 3 more seats. So you have until tomorrow morning. Make sure that you register, click the link for the Reset Group Mentorship, and make sure you're ready to maximize your year. That's what it's all about. And it's going to take you on finances, all kind of good things. We're going to talk about health. Coach Sharice is here with us. She's going to talk about anger management. We're going to cover improving your finances, improving your life, anger management, improving behaviors, building relationships, getting closer to God. All right. So all of that. If you registered, I want you to go ahead and put in the chat you registered. Also, we have the Sister Circle, which is in Brooklyn, New York. It is on May 20th, 3 to 7 p.m. I'm going to be the guest speaker there, along with Jessica Cadet. And we're going to be at Ara Wellness Center, 495 Flatbush Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11225. The next thing is we're getting ready to go to Uganda. Woo! Uganda mission trip. We are getting ready to go to Uganda. We also have Asia coming with us for the first time. She's going to Uganda. Listen, God is faithful. God is awesome. If you want to sponsor, we're going to provide opportunities so everybody can have the ability to sponsor. If you have a business, there are different packages. We're going to have revivals there. We're going to have crusades. We're going to feed thousands of people, widows, orphans, and the less fortunate. We are going to be blessing these people by the grace of God. And so we are so excited about it. And yesterday, I got an invitation to South Africa. Thursday, I'll tell you about that. We got an invitation to South Africa in November. And so the Global Leadership Seminar, June 3rd, Saturday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you register. I see all of you that are registered. I want to say shout out to all of you. I'm going to ring the bell for you. Shout out to all who registered already. And I'm going to add 3 more seats. So I want to encourage you to get prepared. Get prepared to win. Get prepared to see more changes in your life this year. Shout out to Landy. Shout out to Landy. Woo! Shout out to Landy. All right. Who else I'm going to shout out at the stars? Come on. Send those stars. And this is the schedule for the ministry. For the rest of the year, we are completely booked. And we want to get you to have your schedule looking like this. And that's what the Global Leadership Seminar is all about. We want to get you into global relationships where you're getting ready to travel and do the work that we're doing. So may God continue to bless all of you that continues to join us on this podcast. And those are all the announcements. Go ahead and click the links. Click the link that Thursday put down. And go ahead and register for everything. Make sure you RSVP. Lazar, I see you, Lazar. I see you. Come on. Let's get some star senders. And we're going to get ready to close out. Come on.
I just want to go ahead, to say something before we get to the questions. You know, just this topic just makes me think about sometimes we have to be sensitive to other people. And, you know, you don't know what can cause somebody to have like a schism. You know, we don't know. I remember one day I'm getting off the train in the downtown area and I saw my high school classmate, sitting on the bench on the train station, homeless, looking just totally spaced out, not necessarily looking like she was like on drugs or anything, but it was clear she was a bag lady. I'm gonna just put it like that. If we have that classic bag lady in our head, the person that has all their belongings, like 10 bags with them, just sitting there, she wasn't clean.
Yeah.
And it touched me in a different way because I had never seen anyone that I knew to that reach that level.
Capacity,
and it made me think about, what really happened to her, because in high school, she was an outgoing person. She was a good student. She was on, participating in things. So we don't know, so it just makes me think about how we need to be more sensitive sometimes. And, I can understand being frustrated with a family member and so forth who might be going through things, especially those kind of mental illnesses like schizophrenia, where you just, that's on a whole other level. You have the depressed person who's not really acting out, not doing anything, but the schizophrenic who is lashing out, who is hearing things, seeing things. So, it's like the spectrum is so wide, and we really have to be conscientious of that and be sensitive to others, pray for others. And as for ourselves, and I guess this ties into the question that Denise asked here: can depression be addressed without help? If I can answer that, I don't think it can, because you have to reach out to someone. You have, no matter how small or how big or how deep, you have to reach out to someone, and it starts with a decision. Like I decided that I need help. I feel like this is too much for me. And, unfortunately, because we may not be so sensitive to one another, people don't ask for help. So again, we have to be mindful of how we refer to people. We have to be mindful of how we perceive people. And, it's a reality. Sometimes you can't help a person. You may not want to intervene because of your safety, so if that's the case, then, maybe you need to pray for the person on your own, or maybe you need to call somebody, a hospital, a therapist or something. But I think we have to be sensitive, because that might make a difference, just as lay people, if we're not professionals and so forth, psychologists, therapists, just as regular people, we have to be sensitive to one another. That way people will feel maybe at ease,
will feel comfortable,
or a mother could feel at ease going to someone. Well, I'm having this problem with my son or my daughter, So that's what comes to my mind, that we really need to be a little bit more sensitive. And to answer Denise's question, honestly, I don't think you could really do it alone. You need, even if you choose to do it alone, you need someone to go to. Like I went through it alone, but I still had I went to a therapist. I went to someone. Some people will go to clergy. So you need someone. You need God too. Not by yourself. At the end of the day, you can't do it alone. You need God and you need someone else.
Yes. And as to what Thursday was saying, like, everybody don't qualify for tough love. Everybody doesn't qualify for a sharp tongue. Because what you don't realize with a sharp tongue and an untamed heart, people are not going to tell you these things. They're not going to share these things with you because you're being judgmental. And the one thing about when people are suffering from depression, the last thing they want to hear is snap out of it.
Oh,
because if it was that easy, they would have done it.
Yeah.
And so Thursday's 100% right. You need the support of the community. You need to go to God. You need to pray. But you also need the support of mental health. Not being afraid to say, listen, I'm having these issues, because nobody can take you there. You have to go there. And a lot of times we don't want to be faced with what's really bothering us.
Yeah.
It's already a challenge for me to admit that I'm having issues.
Yeah.
But now I got to relive and talk about the issues. And the one suggestion I will advise is that when you do go for services, make sure it's the same person. Because what I find to be a trigger in my years of Micah, that when they have somebody and they open up and they pour their heart out to psychosocial, the psychosocial is everything that the traumatic events that led up to this, right?
Yeah.
Then next thing you know, they got a new therapist or a new social worker or a new psychiatrist that they have to retell these stories to. And that allows them to have to feel open again. It's like peeling open a wound. So if you are going to get help, my suggestion is that you stick with the same person that's providing you service. Stick with them. But if you feel like they are judgmental, find someone else. But for the most part, be consistent with your recovery, because regardless to what you have, depression or anything like that, it's still recovery, right? So you want to be consistent by keeping your appointments, but you also want to demand that the facility is consistent. Because a lot of times, because of money and funding, they always have these different people quit. When you choose a facility to get help, and I'm saying this from experience, make sure that they don't have a high turnaround. Because in order for you to really get the help that you need, there has to be consistency with you, and it also has to be consistency with the facility. And I think people don't realize triggers. That's a trigger. When someone new is sitting there, and you thought Bob Jones was there, and then you get there and it's
not
Gus Sims, you know, and you're like, well, what happened? Oh, he quit, he this, he that. So that would be one of the top things when you going into get help, to make sure that you are consistent and you have consistent support and you know your triggers.
Wow. You know, that is so important what you said, because I remember having a friend, and I remember having a friend where I know when I see, with me, this is the thing. Getting angry triggers me back to that feeling. If someone is just attacking me, I would say verbally. And I know that I had a friend, and I thought she was my friend, and she was also a therapist. And that is so important that you say judgmental, because we have to remember, and as Thursday was saying before, that we have to be compassionate about people.
Yes.
Like if they say, sometimes people say, I don't like that, don't say that anymore, right? And if they say that, you have to remember, keep that in mind, because if they're saying not to say it again, or I don't like when you say it, it probably triggers something.
Absolutely.
Right? So these are the signs we have to pay attention to. And my friend, where I really thought that she was my friend, and Coach, you know who this person is, because
I do.
I had that experience, and I had to speak to someone, and I called Coach, and I was really making a decision to really and at that moment I felt triggered. I felt like everything that I went through, and in my depression and my anxiety, I felt like I was in that corner, and I was just like, oh my God, this can't be, this cannot happen again, right? And so as I got to that moment, I realized that I had to part ways, because if I didn't part ways and I continue to be your friend and it happens again, and I know in the name of Jesus ain't nothing coming back. But we still have to understand that when people are coming to you in the flesh, you really got to take it into the spiritual part of it, because that's what's going to help you to get it back right. You're going to say, oh my God, let me get it back right. Let me go back. And I really made that decision immediately. because I didn't need to have a part 2, right, Denise? And I want you guys to have, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. We're gonna go through your questions real quick, and we have about a few minutes. And so at that moment, I made a decision because I knew what was good for me.
Yes.
A lot of people who struggle with mental illness or do not know what is good for them. Sometimes they're vulnerable to that trigger. And they lose it, and that's why people go and well, I don't know, I can't say that's why they do it, but I could think like people that's going to get the gun, they remember the trauma that was caused, that the person caused them when they were young. They remember, like I was watching this morning, a man drove from another state to his brother's house. The wife opened the door. Did you guys see this? He shot the brother, okay? Shot the brother. And after he shot the brother, he shot the wife of the brother.
Oh, wow.
And then put the house on fire. And then when the cops came, there was a shootout. And they killed him. Yesterday, I saw 2 sisters. And one of the sisters killed the other sister, and the other one went to jail. Mental illness is real. We don't know what happened. We don't know what took place. But why are we seeing 2 days
Too much
back
of
to
it.
back? 2 days back to back, siblings killing each other, right? We're going to see so much more. And we have to also have compassion for those that we know they've told us. Don't call them crazy. Don't speak behind their back. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. The thing is, I remember my uncle. He was HIV positive. I want everybody send the hearts, send the hearts, send the stars. If you just came in, send the hearts, send the stars. Tell us where you're from. My uncle was HIV positive. We didn't know. When I was about 19 at the time, and he was about 28, 29, right? And he was living with us, and I remember he was going back and forth to the bathroom, to the kitchen, wherever, and we would be in the rooms, and we would be talking. What do you think is wrong with him? Why do you think he keep passing out, and he's not telling us? And you know what he was doing? He was outside the door. He was outside the door listening. Sometimes when you're talking about a family member, a loved one, or a coworker, they're listening.
Yes.
They're listening behind if they see you go. And I remember we used to catch him behind the door, and we used to feel embarrassed because we were trying to figure out what's wrong with him. And at the moment, AIDS was just coming out, and we had no idea he had that. We had no idea he was struggling with that. And so it was really a challenge for him. And I remember I would always go and find, he used to love fish. I used to bring him fish to the hospital. It was his birthday. I bought him a cake, and I was always doing something to uplift him because he was holding on to this secret. And at the time, the hospital didn't have to tell you what was wrong with them. There was it was confidential. If he didn't want his family to know, the family didn't have to know. So, but mentally, he was going through something. He was going through that pain in his mind, but we weren't really thinking about it. So that is another form of, someone struggling with something mentally.
Yes.
And we're not paying attention. And so we really have to be careful how we treat people, how we respond to people. And if we know someone has been through, it could be domestic violence, it could be mental abuse, right? And every time you say something, or maybe the person was with a narcissist, right? They have to go through a healing process. So in the midst of that, mental illness can be an issue for them, right? And so we really have to observe how people are, around us. They're down days they don't look well. Like, I'm always asking. Like, I'll ask Thursday, I'll be like, why you look like that? Why you sound like that? Like, I'm always asking, right? And I do it with my kids. I'm like, why do you sound like that? Why do you look like that? What's wrong, right? We have to be able to ask what's wrong.
And not be ashamed to ask.
Yeah, because in the Caribbean families, and I'm gonna be quick, and I'm gonna go to Thursday and Coach so that they could close us out. But there are questions. I'm gonna pass it down to Thursday. But I want to say this: Caribbean families, if I had told my mother something was wrong, they would have took me to a shrink. They would have took me to a mental facility, and so I had to keep it on the hush. And it's worse when people have to keep it on the hush, right?
Yes.
And by the grace of God, I'm healed today. And I want to encourage you to make sure you speak to someone. Get help. Don't let it be that moment when it's too late. All right? So I'm going to go to Thursday. Thursday's going to read your comments. And as Thursday's going to the comments of the questions, please send the hearts and send the stars. I'm going to ring the bell after. And next week on the 15th, I'm going to announce the winner for the gift card for the stars. I'm so excited. I want you guys to go hard today because, listen, there was a tie between 3 or 4 people. And I had to try to figure out who's going to win. So this is your chance to send until the 15th. And we're going to get it right. So Thursday, we go down.
Yeah. So Landy asks, did your son notice any change in your behavior? If yes, did you tell him? Well, at the time, my son was young. He was about 7, 8 years old. Mm-hmm. So I can't say per se that he noticed anything, but what I realized was that I was not functioning well in terms of having a desire to do certain things with him. And, of course that would bring frustration on, it causes frustration with the child, but I just find myself withdrawing from the things that I know a child needs. So you get behavior issues. So he may not be able to express, Mom, what's wrong with you? I don't know what's going on. Why don't you want to do this? But it comes out differently. So I guess indirectly he let me know. But at the time he was young. So and I had the wherewithal, and I say I had the wherewithal not to share certain things with him, because some people share things with young children that should not be shared. So that's a whole other conversation.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting that this is coming up, because in the midst of this, I was still very conscious of my behavior, so so I was able to avoid certain things, because I was like, okay, I have to stop this because this is going to happen, or I can't do that because he's going to see it. No, I did not have a conversation with him because he was too young. And like I said, thank goodness I was able to refrain from sharing certain things with him. But I knew that it was taking a toll on his life because I was not accessible to him in order to do the things that I needed to do for him and function as a mom should function, as a parent or a caregiver should function, right? Yeah. So to answer that question.
Yeah. I saw it in the comments. Sean Sullivan wrote, I try my best to make a habit to look in the mirror every morning and say I am important. That is so true.
That's important.
And I believe that will help us to build strength. It will help us to be encouraged. And, and I believe that affirmations can really give us opportunity to feel great when we feel down. And I want to encourage you to do that every morning. We did that at the shelter. We gave the women mirrors. And at our conferences, we give mirrors. When I sold my book, when my book launched, the mirrors went out with the book. So it's something very important that we have to do, loving ourselves and who we are. Go ahead, Thursday.
Apostle, yeah, I just remembered you had at some point, Apostle had a campaign, My Feelings Matter, or
oh yes,
something like
that.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
oh my God.
And I commend you for that, because you
you.
took a personal experience that you were having, and you turned it into something so that other people could use, and reminding people. Was that what it's called? My Feelings Matter?
My feelings really matter. Yeah.
So,
I have actually, you know what? I'm glad you brought it out. You remember that, right, Monica? I'm so happy you brought it out. You brought it to the podcast, because we're gonna bring it back. I think it's important that we bring it back, because people need it. People are going through so many things. Some people are taking care of the elderly.
Yes.
And we do have a segment where we're going to talk about taking care of the elderly, because we believe that it's something very important. If you are taking care of an elderly parent, or grandparent, or aunt, uncle,
or auntie, uncle.
Yeah, right.
We got these aunties and uncles.
We want you guys to reach out to me and let me know you want to be part of the podcast. We want to talk about it. It's very important, and we have to really focus on what it means and resources that are available for them, because
And
sometimes
Apostle,
we don't know.
Caretaking is very stressful.
Oh
So,
my God.
you
I know.
yeah,
I did it.
So
I did it.
it's very important. Yeah.
I did it. And so we're gonna get ready to end, guys. We'll take another question if you do. We're running out of time. We'll be back next week. I know we were supposed to bring the gentlemen's back. We're gonna talk about why do men cheat. We will announce. We're gonna have all the agendas of the next few weeks of everybody who's gonna be here. Some of you are going to be invited to be here. I see you, Tanya. Shout out to Tanya. And let's go ahead and end. We're going to get ready to end. We're going to go to everybody. But before we end, we want everybody, we're going to count to 3. Everybody, I want everybody to go. You see that comment that's pinned? I want everybody to go like it. Everybody go like the comment that's pinned. I want everybody to go like it right now. Go like that. Go like it. Go like that comment. I'm waiting on y'all. Go ahead. Coach, you do it too. Thursday, you do it. Go and like the comment. That is right there.
I have to say special shout out to Tanya. She pulled up and showed out for us at the shelter. With her donation. So this is things that we do. We when we have events, especially when we're doing things for the community, we support each other. So Tanya, Kitchville, Kitchville, right? Big up.
Kitchville,
right?
big up.
Chicken and ting and salad and ting.
Right? A lot of guys there. So, big up.
So
big up.
So thank you for that donation.
It's pinned.
It was really appreciated.
I don't see it
at the bottom. If you look at the bottom, you see my picture where you comment. It's right there. You don't see it, Coach? How do you not? I see 2 people liked it. You see it, Thursday? It's right there. I could see it on my phone. I don't know how y'all don't see it. It's pinned. It's not moving. It's just
you have a special phone, because I don't see it either.
I don't.
All right, we'll do it again. Let me do it again for y'all. Hold on. I'll put it again. Actually, you know what? I just want everybody to send the hearts. Just send the hearts. Send the hearts, y'all. And send the stars. Come on, we need 6 people to send the stars. Come on. And it is the 5th month of the year, the month of grace. I know why you guys don't see it, because it's not pinned, but there is something pinned. It says welcome to a better. I could see it on my screen. I don't know why I can't see it.
But Apostle, I just want to leave.
5 people just liked it. Okay, go ahead and send the stars. I'm going to go to Coach. We're going to get ready to end. We'll see you next week, Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We are live every Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Thank you, Tanya. Congratulate her. All right, we're gonna go back to Coach in a couple minutes. 1 minute. 1 minute.
1 minute. Do's and
No
don'ts.
stars. Then no start.
I
Then
just
no
want to give
start.
some do's and don'ts of supporting people with mental
Apostle.
health.
Yes.
Hold on to the bell, Coach. You can't hear the Coach is trying to get you some do's
All right,
and
Coach.
don'ts.
Go ahead, Coach.
Okay, I want to give you 3 or 4 examples of do's and don'ts. Do have a plan for somebody who you are caring for who have a mental illness. Know their doctor, know their therapist. Have a plan for them. Write down the information. Keep their insurance card just in case anything happens. Don't make a decision without their consent. Always let them know, I'm getting ready to call the ambulance because you're having an episode. Let them know so that they know what's happening so you don't trigger the situation even more. Do set reasonable expectations up front. I know that you're struggling. I want to help you, but this is what I expect if you're staying with me or if you want me to help you, because they're like children at times where they need to know what they need to do to help themselves. Don't blame or shame. Don't say, because of this, you have this. Don't blame. Always be compassionate when you're explaining something. Never point the finger. Do name your needs and boundaries. Have them give you their needs, or if it's used, give your needs and set your boundaries. And know your limits. Finally, don't personalize their behavior. It's not a you, it's a them. Let me say that again. It's not a you issue, it's a them. And I think a lot of times people get frustrated and they turn away or they back away. I can't take this with my son. I can't take this with my mother. I can't. When you start to do that, that's personalizing it. It's really not about you. It's about the fact that they can't handle the situation, can't explain the situation, can't deal with the situation. So never personalize their behavior. And finally, for the caretaker and the individual alike, practice self-care. You need to practice self-care. Take a moment to do something special with them. Take a moment to breathe. Don't allow resentment to build up, because once you feel that resentment, you're going to explode like they're exploding. And that's why self-care is so important. And I think that Apostle and Thursday, we don't do a lot of self-care. We keep going. You know, in the African Caribbean community, we don't do no self-care. Well, my mom need me, my this, and we're doing so many things that we never practice self-care. We never treat ourselves. We never treat ourselves to a dinner, to a movie, just us alone to think. We don't write in the journal. We don't express our feelings. And this is why, even if something happens, you still have the burden because you never gave yourself a chance to breathe. So self-care is so important. And so I hope that you guys have wrote these tips down. I know it was kind of quick because we don't have a lot of time, but you know, we need to practice self-care, and not just for people who have mental health situations, just for everyday life, the everyday stresses of the big cities that we live in. You know, inflation, food, this, that, everything's an issue. Your job, you're not making enough money. Still find time to practice self-care. It is your mental health too. And finally, Apostle and Thursday, take the day off. Don't say, oh, I can't take the day off. You that important at your job. No, you're not. Because you see Jamie Foxx had that mental health situation and they brought in a double 2 days later. Because
you mean heart attack.
Yup, the world don't
No, but the point that Coach is making is that even though he's the star of the show, he was not physically able to be there, but they found somebody to fill in real quick.
Even listen, I've had a coworker who passed away and they replaced it by the next week. It was no time. They didn't wait. So
take the day off. You're not that important at your job. I mean, people may seem like you're important because you're there, but you're not that important because you don't own the company. And so if anything happens to you, they're going to replace you immediately. The day that they find out that something happened to you, the next day your job description is posted. And so we have to be able to identify that we're not the special person at the job that people make us feel we are.
Yeah.
Unless it's your own business, you're not the special person. So take the day off. Don't say I can't take the day off because my job, my paperwork, what are some other excuses, or my money and all these other things. Take the day off. Just take it.
Wow. Thank you, Coach. Thank you so much. I want to thank all of you for being here tonight. And if you watch the replay, I want you to go ahead and hashtag replay when you watch the replay. And I want everybody to do me a favor right now and hashtag a better me podcast. Hashtag that before we leave. And let's go ahead and reach our goal tonight. Let's send the stars, send the hearts. Go ahead and hashtag a better me podcast. That way, all roads will lead to here every time, every minute, every hour to get the information that the people need. I want to thank you all for joining. Thank you all who have registered a Better Me podcast. Thank you. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Denise. Denise, put them all together. Don't space, Denise. All together. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Asia. Woo, woo, woo. Thank you, Thursday. Come on. There's more of you. Stop playing. Tanae, I see you. Guys, we love you. And we want to thank you. And we want about 5. This is the 5th month of the year. Let's 5 people send about 100 stars. 5 people. And we're going to be able to, we're getting ready right now. We get ready for Uganda. I'm excited. I can't wait. I can't even wait. When I tell you I can't wait, thank you, Rose, Evangelist Rose. Thank you so much for joining us at the shelter this weekend. Thank you so much for always being there. Asia, I see you. Thank you. Thank you, Wendy. I see you. Denise. So listen, guys, next time we come in, when we start, you guys are going to come in and hashtag. We're going to need a few leaders. We want y'all to hashtag a Better Me podcast. And we're going to make sure all roads lead to a Better Me podcast. And so I want to thank you all for being here. Who's going to send the stars? Come on. We need 5 people. 5 people. Let's put number 5 in the chat. Number 5. 5 people to send the hearts and the stars. Come on. 5 people. 5 people to send 100 stars. We can do it. If you can send 50, send 50. We can do it. Thank you, Coach. Number 5. Come on, guys. Thank you, Evangelist Rose. Woo! Come on. Somebody send more than 100. Come on. Challenge yourself. Woo. I see you, Denise. Come on. Somebody else send those stars. Send those stars. We on fire. We are on fire. Yes, Landy. I see you, Landy. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Asia, thank you. Thank you for congratulating. Oh, yes. That's right. Number 5 is the month of, number 5 represents God's grace upon grace. And we're going to rise this month. Listen to me. It's going to be the best month. And as we prepare, we're going right into the month of June. Woo! Where everything gonna make sense. Thank you, LaShonda. Thank you so much. With 3 more people. We need 3 more people. 3 more. Come on. 3 more. And we are about to end. 3 more. Woo. Y'all get me with this bell. I'm excited that I found my bell because I thought I wasn't gonna get it. Landy, Monica, thank you. Come on. Let's go. 2 more people. 2 more. Send the 50 stars. 2 more. Woo. 2 more. Asia, thank you for congratulating them. Coach Sharice, thank you for congratulating them. Landy, I see you. Denise, shout out to all of you who are here today. I want to thank you. and may God bless you. And if we could get 2 more people to send 50, we got Landy. Woo! One more person. Come on. Y'all can do this. Turn it around. We gotta have a song Thursday. Turn it around. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Landy. Thank you, Tanya. Woo! I see y'all. Y'all coming in deep. Thank you so much. God bless all of you. And I just want to say, shalom. I'll see you next week, Tuesday. And may God bless the rest of your night.
Thank you all.
Mwah.